This is kind of weird.
So yeah, we all know the story. The Rabbids were originally created by Michel Ancel as enemies for Rayman 4, a game that sadly got cancelled and we ended up having a minigame competition instead that started the career of the Rabbids and the summer disappearance of Rayman, rada rada rada. But let's repeat that specific part again. The Rabbids were created by Michel Ancel. Sure, he is not the only one who originally designed them since the credit also goes to Hubert Chevillard, but the original concept was made by Ancel. Michel Ancel saw the Rabbids as both perverse and stupid. However, this vision never really came to be after the cancellation of Ubisoft Montpellier's version of Rayman 4. I said Montpellier's version because remember that wasn't the only Rayman 4 we were supposed to have. Everything's on Misty's video on the topic. After this, Ansel removed his relationship towards Rayman Raving Rabbids and did not come back for a Rayman title until Rayman Origins. That was sort of a happy ending for Rayman, but what's up with the Rabbids? One would argue that Ansel would try to put out his essence onto another Rabbids related project, but nothing happened. I mean, he's supposed to be the father of the Rabbids, but it doesn't feel like he is. You know who really feels like the father of the Rabbids? Think about it for a second. Soliani is a very passionate director who was responsible not only of the most important title for the Rabbids, but also one of the biggest third-party titles for the Nintendo Switch. Mario Bros. Rabbids is simply an unmatched title that changed the franchise forever. It's a title that most people recognize for its beautiful graphics, fantastic music, and amazing gameplay. It was simply such an excellent title that it's getting a sequel that looks 10 times better. It's at this point in time, the only Mario RPG saga we currently have after the constant changes of Paper Mario throughout the years and the demise of Alpha Dream, which led to the hiatus of the Mario and Luigi series. Think of how important is this sub-saga for the Mario series. And it's all thanks to Soliani's crazy but brilliant ideas with the Italian plumber crossing paths with the crazy bunnies. Not only that, but his implementation of the Snowdrop engine for Kingdom Battle has become so iconic that it is now being used in another title that came recently, Rabbids Adventure Party. Soliani's style when making Rabbids titles is influencing other studios to put that same kind of humor, animation, stories, and words in other kinds of places. Do you actually think that something like Luigi's Quest would have existed if it weren't for Soliani's ideas? No, of course not! His passion and mindset is provoking a renaissance of the Rabbids franchise that was much needed. In my eyes, Soliani, and I will also credit his partner in crime, Grant Kirkhope, feel like the true duo that brought the Rabbids to life, but at least brought them new life after having so many projects with mixed reviews. I mean, how do you go from this to this? It's amazing! And after all that, what has Michel Ancel done? Nothing! Don't get me wrong, Ancel is an incredibly talented and imaginative director who was in charge of many big projects inside Ubisoft outside of Rayman, and he is the father of the Rayman franchise, but when it came to the Rabbids, he simply wasn't there. Ancel never expressed any sort of interest towards his creation and doesn't seem to have any kind of connection to them. Like, discrediting yourself as a main director from a game because it didn't feel like it was your idea is one thing, but simply not even showing much interest towards them seems a bit rude. Get this, Michel Ancel and Shigeru Miyamoto were both condecorated as Knights of the Arts and Letters by the Prime Minister of France. Both of their respective creations came together for a crossover. You know how crazy is that? I often wonder, what does Michel Ancel really think of all this? Like, what does he think from the mangas and the animated shows? But what I wonder the most is, what would a Rabbids game directed by him would be? I know it seems strange that we end up considering someone who's kind of an outsider to a character or franchise as the father of such, but it's not the first time when somebody else takes control of a character and ends up giving it a better purpose on this world than the people who actually created it. Just look at the amazing ideas my friend Franniel has with his newly adopted character Vivian James. Despite all, we may never see a project like that since, you know, Ancel no longer works in the gaming industry. But there is nothing to worry about, since we will have the brilliant, lovable, and passionate Davide Soliani helming the franchise for now, alongside his handsome, eccentric, and elegant companion and best friend in the whole wide world, Grant Kirkhope. Goodbye, Rabbids fandom!